Hey everybody, my name is Kim Pearlstein and I'm here to teach you how to leverage the power of LinkedIn to get more clients. Thank you for joining me today in this wonderful meetup group. And I'm going to just get started. And feel free to ask me any questions. And I'm going to go pretty fast because there's a lot to cover, but I'm happy to answer questions throughout. So you can either put your questions in the chat, or if you know how to raise your hand on LinkedIn, maybe everybody, John, you can mute everybody so that there's not any background noise. Sure. And I'll jump right in. Thank you. Okay. So of course, you know, digital media, digital marketing, social media, our goals are to increase your visibility and reach, build your credibility, drive traffic to your website so that you get exposure to potential customers, grow your network, brand, and business. And there are so many things, you know, Rubik's Cube, it's a complicated thing with social media. There's so many different things you can be doing, but I think that LinkedIn is one of the most powerful tools and it's underutilized in business. It's not just a resume, a place to put your resume and look for a job. That's why you're all here today. It's a place that you can find business. And so here's some statistics that I like to share. It generates more leads for B2B companies than Facebook, Twitter, or blogging. And 50% of LinkedIn members report they are more likely to buy from a company they engage with on LinkedIn. So today we're going to cover a couple different topics. I like to share the stats and power of LinkedIn because I think those statistics are important to know. The essential elements of a LinkedIn profile, building your network, and how to take advantage of your existing network. We'll probably talk a little bit about that. And content marketing, I'm going to just touch on. So there's over 800 million people on LinkedIn. If that isn't reason enough to get moving on here, then here we go. 180 million people use it every day. It's a 24/7 networking tool. 200 countries, 40% of people use LinkedIn every day. 87% are decision makers. 57 million jobs. So if you are looking for a job, this is the place to be. In 57 million companies and 15 million jobs. So again, it's more than a job search tool. It can help you grow your business. So you can use LinkedIn to expand your availability, build your brand, share your knowledge, establish yourself as an expert, increase your visibility, build trust, research the competition, attract customers, get found in a Google search because Google loves LinkedIn. So if you have what's called an optimized profile on LinkedIn, you're more likely to be found in a Google search. You can find leads. It's 277 more effective than Facebook or Twitter, according to HubSpot. So the first step before you start jumping in and connecting with people is to optimize your profile. And what that means is you want to make sure that your profile is complete and you have all the right words in the right places. Just like Google for your website, SEO is really important. So the keywords are very important on LinkedIn as well. So I heard someone call this area of the LinkedIn profile, which is at the top of the fold, right? The personal identification box. And I like that terminology. It's the 10-second bumper sticker. So when someone comes to look for you and they look at your profile, this is what they see first. And they probably also see a couple lines of your about section if your profile is set up in a certain way. So the keywords are the most important. The areas to put your keywords in are your headline, your about section, your work experience, and your skills. So we're going to jump into the professional headshot and the cover photo. So I used to say that not having a picture on your profile is like going to a networking event with a paper bag over your head. But of course, in the era of Zoom, it's like not having a picture when you go to, you know, hide your video and there's no picture there, then that's what it's like, not having a headshot on your site. So if you can afford a photographer, of course, that's the best. But if you can't, that's okay. Just take your, make it professional looking with a clear picture, no one else in it, business attire, smile, it's current, simple background. And when you have a photo on your profile, you get 21 times more profile views. So that's a pretty good reason to have it. And you get 9 times more connection requests, because if you think about it, like I like to use the example of a realtor. If you're buying a house and you never saw a picture of it, would you be likely to buy? No. So if someone wants to do business with you, they want to see who you are, and your LinkedIn profile picture is very important. So John, here we go. I've got you on here, and then I've got another person who's also a career coach. Okay. Someone lands on these two profiles. Okay. What stands out the most on this? The cover photo. John, you need to put a cover photo on your profile because then people see this blank space. It's prime real estate for you to put, even if it's just a picture of something you like, a picture you took of your boat or your favorite vacation spot or a picture you pull off of the internet, and just put something there because it just helps you stand out from the competition. Of course, branding it to what you do in your business is also very good to do, but if you can't do that, just simply upload a picture of something you enjoy. And I just have a quote on mine because my business is all about helping you stay connected and build relationships. So I just found a quote that I liked about that, and I put that on. And, you can do lots of different things. There's lots of different advice about what to put here, but it's important to have it. So there is a newer feature on LinkedIn called the cover story. I'm not sure if anyone knows what this is, but it's a 30-second intro video. And if you go to someone's profile and you see their image, their profile photo start to play, that's the cover story. You can only do it from your phone. You cannot do it from your computer. But it's great because it gives people an insight into a little bit about you. And so you can start with a question, are you a business owner who is struggling to, if you serve business owners in a certain field, you can say, are you a real estate agent who is struggling? In John's case, are you a job seeker? Blah, blah, blah. Tell clients how you help them. I'm Kim, and I teach people like you how to learn how to use LinkedIn effectively. Provide value. You can offer a free report or a consultation. And some of the words, I invite you to scroll down and grab a copy of my free report. So I know that when I first did it, it took a while because it's 30 seconds. You don't have a lot of time. And then, you get cut off and so just do it, practice. You don't have to, if you save it, you delete it, whatever, but it's a good way to stand out from everyone else on LinkedIn. Okay. The next thing is a descriptive profile header. So instead of just having owner of whatever your company name is, you want to put the keywords in there. And this is probably one of the most important sections on LinkedIn, and you have 220 characters. So you have quite a bit of space to put those words in there. When you start your LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn just defaults to whatever your current work experience is, and that's what it puts there, but you can change it. So here's my headline again. So you don't need to put your company name in your headline because the company name appears on the right of your profile if you want it to show up. And so this is my headline. And you see, I have those little like diamonds in there. If you like that kind of thing, there are certain symbols that work on LinkedIn. So I would just either copy them from somebody else's profile or go on Google and just say symbols that work on LinkedIn and find, which ones work and then just copy them from there. So I like that. You can also use what's called the half pipe, which is the vertical line above the backslash key on your keyboard because it's clean and it divides the keywords. Okay, about section used to be called the summary. People don't buy what you do, they buy why. So telling your story in this section is really important. You want to speak about yourself in first person. You don't want to say, Kim has 20 years experience, blah, blah, blah. You want to put those keywords in there. Make it compelling and client focused. It's not about you. It's about what you can do to help your client. You want to have a strong call to action. You have up to 2,600 characters. So use that space, but don't just put paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs, sentences all connected. You want to make sure you include some white space in there, maybe intersperse it with some bullet items because people like to see things differently and you want to make it readable. When you're looking on your phone too, you only see the first couple sentences, not even, maybe like a sentence and a half. So you want to make those first two sentences the most powerful. Completing all sections of your profile makes you 40% more likely to be found in a search. Keywords are, again, very important. Putting your contact information in. The contact information you have on your profile, like your email address and your phone number, if you include it, are only can be seen by your first degree connections. So if you want someone to reach out to you, you want to put in your call to action, you want to have your phone number or your email address right in your about section. It's for the people that aren't connected to you can see it. your websites, your job experience, your skills. All these areas are really important to fill out. And you can list 5 or more skills you can list 50 skills in your profile. You don't have to list 50, but when you have 5 or more, it makes you 17 times more profile views. So also getting recommendations if it's allowed in your industry. I know certain industries don't allow that type of thing. So this is like a testimonial, and giving and getting recommendations definitely improves your chance of people wanting to do business with you, because if they're looking at 2 insurance agents, or maybe insurance is a bad example, you might not be able to get recommendations. They're looking for 2 sign companies, and one person has even 5 recommendations and the other person doesn't have any, they're going to probably call the person with the recommendations first. Okay, so I have a free report on my website. It's called the 5 Easy Steps to Improve Your LinkedIn Profile so you get more sales. So if you're not already on my email list, or if you are on my email list and you would like a copy of that because you can't find your copy from before, then let me know and you can go to my website and get that free report. Okay, building your network, really, really important. I don't have a lot of slides on this because I wanted to just talk to it. Building your network is really important. Connecting with people and personalizing the message. So adding a note when you go to send someone a connection request, I think is very important. Some other LinkedIn trainers I've heard don't think it's important, but I do, because I also like it because it helps you remember how you know the person. So if you say, "Hi, John, it was nice to meet you at the meetup group." And then, a month later, you go back and you go, "Oh, I need to talk to John. How did I meet him again?" And you have it like in your history. So I think it's nice to not only for, being personalized with somebody, but to have a record of your conversations. It helps you remember.
I can't believe there's anyone out there. I find it hard to believe that anyone is advising not to bother with personalization. Every influencer I know talks about how they ignore most invitations they get that aren't personalized, and I'm the same way. Unless I happen to know the person, if it's not personalized, I say they didn't even do that minimal effort to personalize it, so that goes in the trash.
I agree. There was one guy that I was following, that I still follow, and he said he didn't think it made a difference in the acceptance rate of connection requests. But I don't care if it makes a difference. Personally, I think it's important to personalize the request. So it might take longer, sure, but you're also not there to make a million connections and do nothing with it. The idea is to connect with people, build a relationship, and then take the conversation offline. So LinkedIn is just the starting point, the springboard, right, for starting a relationship with someone, building a relationship and seeing how you can help each other. So I think it's important to personalize the request. I 100% agree with you, John.
Yeah.
Which is why I teach it.
You do have to be a little careful if you're using the mobile app, because it's so easy to make the mistake of hitting the connect button that doesn't allow you to do it.
There is a workaround though from your app. You have to just click the 3 dots there and then you can personalize the invitation. Yes, I know. I try not to use the mobile app too much, but yeah, the mobile app is different. There's a lot of things on the mobile app that are different. The only thing I say that's good is you can do that cover story on the app. Other than that, I think people tend to click that connect button from the app, not realizing that it's sending the generic connection request. So yeah, so I do sometimes accept those connection requests, but I look at the person's profile, I see who they're connected to, I see, yes. And if they started spamming me with like selling, then you can disconnect from someone once you're connected and you just take them out of your network. They don't get a notification about that. So it's okay to do that. So I think most people are pretty good, but I know there are people that use those automation tools that send those messages, and it cracks me up when I get a message from someone that says, "Oh, we help you with LinkedIn, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, didn't you look at my profile? Not really. So yeah, those types of people I don't usually connect with, but most people, even if they don't send the personalized, I just look at their profile, see who they're connected to, and see if it's worthwhile. Because what happens with LinkedIn search, when someone's searching on LinkedIn for you, for what you do, the results vary depending on who you're connected to. So sometimes it is worth connecting to people that you may not know. I mean, this is my philosophy. Not everybody agrees with this either, because you don't know who's going to find you if you're connected to someone that has a big network. So I just, that is something to consider. And you have to, of course, do what's right for you. But here's how you do it. When you click the connect button, and you have to click add a note, and then you get this box that asks you to send that message. So I'll just step back. So, the value of your network, like I said, people can find you more easily the more people you're connected to. And the keywords, of course, are important. But again, the end game is to take those relationships offline. Get to know the people in your network, because you're not going to just build a network and then do nothing with it. What's the point then of being on LinkedIn? So you want to make sure you take those conversations offline. You have a way for people to either schedule with you a consultation, or put your phone number in so people can reach you, or your email, whatever you prefer as your method of communication. But there's gold in our own networks. And I think a lot of times we're searching for the new people. But what about all the people that are already there in your network? I know even myself, I get kind of caught up in, got to meet new people, but there's gold in your network already, I'm sure. So don't forget to, connect with people that, start a conversation again with people that you already know. I mean, even yesterday, I was in LinkedIn and I saw someone that I know from a long time ago posted an article. So I actually said back, I said, I'm going to send this person a connection, a message on LinkedIn. And I said, hey, I saw your article. It prompted me to reach out to you. I hope you're doing well. And I, had a message about something that I wanted to share with him. And he was very open to it. So there's so many people you forget you're already connected to a lot of really good people. Use your network well. Okay, so content marketing, as important as it is to put content on and have yourself be seen as an expert and all that, it's more important to start those conversations with people. But of course, I have to talk about content marketing. So there's a newer feature on LinkedIn called Creator Mode. And what happens with Creator Mode is when you're posting your content, it gets displayed more prominently. You can put hashtags in for the areas that you want to be known for. So I can go back to my profile. I don't even know if my screenshot showed that from before, but I can, when I'm done with the PowerPoint, we can kind of go into LinkedIn and jump in and answer questions. But it makes it easier for other members to discover your content and follow you. Helps to grow your audience. The only thing I don't like about Creator Mode is it changes your connect button into a follow button. But if you know LinkedIn, you know that there's a way to get around just following someone. You can click that more or the 3 dots and still hit the connect button to connect with that person and send them a connection request. So followers receive your posts, your articles, and shares in their home feed, which is pretty cool. And you also get access to tools like LinkedIn Live and LinkedIn Newsletter if you meet the criteria. So LinkedIn Live is like live streaming on LinkedIn. So you can do a video and then post it on your LinkedIn profile, but LinkedIn Live is actually doing a live video on LinkedIn. You do need a third-party tool, and I use StreamYard for that, but you have to be approved to do a LinkedIn Live. So if you're not sure how to do that, just go on Google the answer for everything, right? Go on Google and say, how do I get approved for LinkedIn Live? And you'll find an article. Or you can ask me. I did it a long time ago, so I don't exactly remember the steps, but they've been a little more lenient in giving people access. So now would be a good time to apply for it if you're interested in doing video, which is really important. Personally, I'm not a big fan. I don't love doing video. I don't love myself on camera, I will admit, but I was challenged last October to do a live video every day. And I was like, all right, I got to just do it. I know it's important. I got to just do it. And so I got a little more used to it. And now I'm just committing to doing a live video once a week. That was my comfort level. But I got a lot more comfortable being able to use LinkedIn Live for that. So it's really, really good tool. And you also get analytics, which show you how your content performs. So that's another good reason. So there was an article. And if you want copies of my slides, I'm happy to share them with you. No problem at all. And if you want the recording or you know anyone that missed this meeting, we're happy to share that as well. So content marketing, I'm just going to say, follow the 80-20 rule, which is 80% providing value, useful tips, and 20% can be promotional. Maybe you have an event you want to promote, or you want to, sell something, a product, a new product or whatever, but 80% should be value and 20% promotional. And of course, the goal is to get results. You want to engage with people on LinkedIn. You don't just want to comment on, you don't just want to like their post. You want to comment on it too, because that increases engagement and increases visibility for everybody. The funny thing I did here is that if you do more than just hit the like button, so there's other things you can do, other emojis that you can do on LinkedIn. There's like a celebrate, there's like an insightful. Doing one of those is better than doing a like. For some reason, those get more visibility. I don't know. So, if you're going to like it, that's fine, but maybe choose one of the other options under there. Choose a love or the care or whatever the other ones are. John, you want to say something?
And when you're going to make a comment, try not to just say great post.
Absolutely.
Because that's like basically like hitting like.
Exactly. Yes. Try to make an insightful comment I think I also read that like it needs to be more than just like, 1 or 2 words. So if you can tag the person in the post, that gives them, your name. So if you hit the @ sign and then start typing their name, you can tag them and then say something insightful or thoughtful about it. And, you could still say like, great post. I learned a lot about, something in the art, whatever they're sharing, but no, don't just say great post. That's a good point, John. Thank you.
And it doesn't have to be super insightful all the time. It can be.
No, it doesn't.
I loved what you said about this.
Absolutely.
And that you brought something specific, and it doesn't sound like just a bot out there saying great post.
Exactly. It shows that you actually did read whatever they posted and you're commenting on something specific that you liked about it. So that's perfect. Yep. So of course, engaging with people helps keep you top of mind, interacting with their posts, and it builds the know, like, and trust. And it builds relationships and helps you grow your business. So my question for you, I don't know how fast I talked, if I went over or I'm about right here, I don't know. My question is, will you take action when someone searches on LinkedIn for what you do? Will they find you or your competition? How many opportunities are you missing by not using LinkedIn? So it's time to take action. I like this quote from Oprah: don't worry about being successful, but work toward being significant, and the success will naturally follow. And what that means to me is that don't worry about being perfect. Just stay consistent with what you're doing to reach out and to, do what you need to do in your business, and you will naturally get success from that. So I will open it up for questions, and happy to answer.
I'll unmute everyone, or ask everyone to unmute. By the way, when you mentioned about the, being more findable, I mean, one of the things that, that I've noticed frequently is, I'm often like trying to track down someone that I used to know, or a former client or whatever. And it is when I Google their name, almost always the very first thing that comes up is a link to LinkedIn.
Interesting. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. That's a good test to see if your LinkedIn profile is optimized. I won't put anybody on the spot, but Google your own name and see what comes up. Because if you have an optimized profile, your LinkedIn profile may show up before your website, interestingly enough. Mm-hmm. So it is a good thing to see how far down on the list you might be, and to test things. So if I was to search like job or career coach in New Jersey on Google, how far up the ladder will John's profile be? That would be an interesting test. I won't put you on the spot for that, John. But then, make a change on your profile and do it again. Well, even in LinkedIn, if someone is searching in LinkedIn and they say career coach or LinkedIn trainer or whatever, it's interesting to see where you show up for the keywords that you want to be found for. And then make a change. Like, even if you just make a change to your headline, believe it or not, you're going to pop up probably a couple spots on LinkedIn for that search term.
And that's a good point. I always tell my clients to make sure that you've got the option set up that your connections see changes you make to your profile. Because it's an easy way to create some more visibility that, hey, I went and changed my profile, and everyone gets this alert. And a few of them come and check out and say, oh, well, what's going on? And kind of, because you're looking for how can you keep in touch with people? What are easy ways to kind of keep the relationships fresh?
Right. Yeah, that's a good strategy, especially if you're looking for a job. I tend to tell people to turn that feature off if they're just making changes and they're updating their profile in general. But yes, if you're looking to change jobs or you want people to see what you're doing on your LinkedIn, that's a good thing to turn on. And then also oh gosh, I just lost my train of thought here. Yeah, I mean, there's so many settings in LinkedIn, the privacy settings. So you just want to make sure that the profile visibility is set to full, because that's another strategy, is to you look at someone else's profile and they see that you looked at it, they might be interested. If you're not ready to connect with them or whatever, they see that you've looked at it and they might come look at yours and then send you that connection request. So there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle here, and so many things you can do to help yourself be found. So very important.
And what you said about putting contact information of some sort in the about is so important, because there are very few people actually do it.
Yes.
So, most people put it in the contact field thinking, yeah, I put my contact information out there, but only the people who are directly connected to you can ever see that. So you're missing anyone else who says, oh, Suhash, this is interesting, I want to know more about him. Oh, but I don't know how to reach him. All I can do is send a connection request or something like that, and I move on.
Right. And not everybody is actively on LinkedIn. So if you're only sending connection requests and you're not hearing back from people, it may not be that they're not getting it. It's just that they're may not active on LinkedIn. They may not be checking their notifications. And so the best is to put your information right in the about section. Yeah, for sure.
And that's another good point you just made. Look at how many connections does this person have. If they only have 40 connections, they're probably not active on LinkedIn, and that's probably not the best vehicle for staying in touch with them, because they'll never notice anything you do.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, so does anybody have, so I do have some special offers that I would like to share when we're done, so don't let me forget to do that, but I'm happy to answer questions. I'm even happy to jump in LinkedIn and answer something specific if you have a concern or something you've been wanting to know. Please feel free to unmute and ask away.
Something that I've noticed, I've been trying to post, the thing that I would love to crack is how to get lots of people, reading my content and engaging. But I've been, as I posted more regularly, it's gone up to, get,
yes,
usually a few hundred people looking at each posting. But I did one now it's about a month and a half, 2 months ago, I did one that I thought wasn't even controversial. It was on salary negotiation, just made a comment, and immediately someone said, oh, that's the worst advice I've ever heard, and here are links to my stuff on this. But others agreed. But basically I got about 4,000 views of that one posting, got all sorts of comments, it got a lot of visibility. So putting something a little bit controversial, even if you don't intend it to be, sometimes can be a really good strategy.
Yes, there's a lot of really good things. And I mean, not if we knew the secret to getting more visibility, because LinkedIn's like all social media, they change the algorithm all the time. So I think consistency is really important. And also, if someone shares your content to their network, of course, that's how the visibility skyrockets, so every once in a while you could probably ask someone, like a group like this, hey, I'm going to be posting. I know there's a lot of these like LinkedIn posting party things out there, like the pods, and I participated in them when they first started becoming popular. I don't know if anybody's heard of that term. Basically it would be like all of us getting together on LinkedIn or taking an hour next time and posting something on LinkedIn, and then everybody comments and shares it, and it's great. Like it looks like you're getting really good traction, but if you're not doing that often, it's really, I don't know if it's worth the effort personally. I did it a couple times and I thought, this is cool, but then if there's a lot of people, like one of the calls I was on, there was like 60 people and I couldn't get to everybody. Like that was too many people. So if you're going to do it, try to keep it small. I think like this group would be a good test to see if it works. And it's good for that post. But again, I think that it's the most important is the consistency, and then content is great, like we said before, but the most important thing is connecting with those people and talking to them offline. That's how the business gets made and done.
By the way, I don't know if you know him, Kim, Ed Hahn.
I don't think I know him.
Okay,
No.
he's a recruiter, but he's very good at LinkedIn. And what he does, every day he has this set of LinkedIn tips. They're relatively short, and every single day he puts one out. He has lots of followers, lots of people commenting on it, and
Nice.
some of the points are really simple and good. So Ed, H-A-N, Hahn.
H-A-N. Okay, I'll take a look for him.
Yeah, it's worth following, and he's actually a really good person. I've sometimes connected him to people I know to just have a chat, and they've always gotten a lot of good value from it.
Nice. Yeah, that's great. I always like learning from other LinkedIn people because there's always something to learn. I mean, I don't feel that it's competition. There's a lot of collaboration that can happen. In fact, when Clubhouse first came out, I actually got on Clubhouse with like 3 or 4 other LinkedIn people, and we answered questions about people's profiles. It was really fun. So yeah, it was neat.
You know, I had the one that I said I posted 2 weeks ago. One of the people that I posted it to, which I didn't know were just 5 people, put what I posted on their own profile and made comments on them. And those got a bunch of responses. And then she told them, you know, if they wanted more information, they can contact her and she can get them my information.
Yes,
so maybe
that's perfect. That's like the sharing of someone else's content. That's what I said. Yeah, it increases visibility quite a bit. So I bet, John, your controversial post, I bet a couple people probably shared that with their network.
Oh, I am sure. and you know, if you have people who have significant networks who will be interested in the topic, and you do, like Kim was saying, you do the @ and the name so that it's in effect directed to them too, and say, hey, Suhash, I thought you'd be interested in this. What do you think? And Suhash comments on it. Suddenly all the people who are following Suhash now see what you've posted. So so if you have some people who you know, have some following, getting them sometimes involved in it can be really helpful. I mean, you know, I wouldn't like say every single one I'm going to do @ Suhash because he's going to get really tired of it. But once in a while, do that.
And also, I've heard that if you tag too many people and the people don't respond, that it can actually hurt you. So don't do it. Don't do like 20 people in a tag like that, and don't do it every time. But maybe, like you said, pick a couple people that you think really would benefit from what you're posting, so that hopefully they're active on LinkedIn, because otherwise it could hurt you if they don't respond.
Right. Well, and Ed was one of the people I did say, you know, Ed, I'd love to get your take on it. And another person I know, Marty Latman, I did that. They both weighed in, and I'm sure that had some influence on the viewing of that post.
Yes, agreed.
I've seen people do introductions that way as well, like literally introduce people by just tagging them and saying, oh,
yes,
you know, I thought you two would connect, you know, based on this content or based on your profiles.
Yes, a lot of times I've seen people also, like even with me, and sometimes I do it, but I do it more in an email introduction. You can you know, create a little group chat with the 2 people you want to meet each other and start a conversation with them that way. But usually when I do an introduction to 2 people, I usually do it in an email, because then they can kind of take you out of that conversation once they're in there. So if you do it in LinkedIn, it's like you feel like you're always looped in, you know.
I do that. I
didn't realize
where I say, hey, you know, Suhash and Kim, I think you guys would really enjoy meeting each other. Kim, here's Suhash's profile.
Exactly.
It's Suhash, here's Kim's profile, so you guys get to check each other out a little bit and see if there's a reason. Yeah.
Perfect. So I want to just take a minute to share some of the things I would offer to the group as a special offer, and then I can answer some more questions, but I don't want to forget to do this. So so I have three things. Well, I mentioned the first one is the free report. Oh, I guess these are in the wrong order, but I'll just put them all here. So I have the free LinkedIn report. If you don't already have that, grab that on my website. Then I would like to offer a free like a profile review and a 1-hour strategy session, teaching you how to use LinkedIn and giving you tips on improving your profile for $197, normally more than that. And then I was thinking, Suhash, maybe, I don't know if this is putting you on the spot here, but a group training of some sort, which would be a little lower cost for each individual. And maybe we could do it at your office there. And get people to meet in person, and I can do a group training session. I need to have like 4 people probably at a minimum, but it would be, a lower cost for each individual. And it would be, a hands-on training where people would bring their computers and they can make changes to their profile as I'm talking. And I love doing that kind of thing. And I would love to get back to that. So that could be something, if anyone's interested, you could always schedule a call with me at talktokim.live. Even if you just want to chat with me for a couple of minutes before you make a decision on working together. So these are the, again, if you want to take a picture of this, or I can send the presentation later so you have my information. And I did put my information in the chat. I didn't put the Talk to Kim in there, but that's on my LinkedIn profile. So
and I'll just say, I did do one of those 1-hour reviews with Kim. We actually were doing more than just LinkedIn, but it was very, very helpful. We sat down for an hour at the business, that business conference room at the Warren Library.
Yes, at the library, yeah.
That was a really good session. It helped me with a lot of tips.
Thank you, John. Yes.
So it looked
Okay,
like,
so
Mariana, did you have a question you wanted to ask?
I did. I wanted to know the difference between the free LinkedIn profile and paying for a profile, and if that's really necessary when you're first starting out.
That's a great question. So I think when you're first starting out, you should just use the free version of LinkedIn, get your profile up and running, fill out all the sections, learn how to use it a little bit. And the most beneficial reason to get the premium account is if you're doing a lot of searching for leads. LinkedIn will stop you from searching after a little while. If you have the free account, you get more filters. So I have LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I pay for LinkedIn every month. It's quite expensive. There's a couple different types of premium accounts, although I have to say that it's hard to find the information on them. So I'm not even sure which premium accounts are still available. I think there's a job seeker one still. John, you might know that better. And I have Sales Navigator. And I know you can do a free trial. Usually when you upgrade for a month, you can try it out. But I wouldn't do that until you're really ready to really jump right into LinkedIn and start looking for business, because I don't think you need it. It's a lot of money, and you can do a lot with the free version. So I would use it to its fullest extent. If you try to do something and it stops you because it says you only have a free account, then maybe that's the time to upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, my own experience, I've never upgraded. And most of the people they're depending on what they're using it for, but most people I talk to have not bothered. Once in a while, although recruiters always do, because they need those expanded search capabilities.
There is a recruiter version. And I have to say, Sales Navigator has some really cool functionality, but I think right now it's like $80 a month. It's kind of pricey, right? So I got in a little bit before they changed the price. But one of the cool things you can do in Sales Navigator is you can narrow down your search by the people that are active on LinkedIn. So that's very valuable. I would say that's probably more valuable even than what I said before about the search features, because, that is one of the filters, actually. One of the filters is being able to see, okay, I'm looking for realtors. I'm looking in my zip code or a radius around my address. And then I'm also looking to see if I'm going to send a message to someone or a connection request message, are they even active on LinkedIn? So I'm not wasting my time messaging people that aren't active, so I can narrow down the search by active. And I think it's the last 30 or 60 days. So,
right. Well, we've hit 9 o'clock. This was really good, very helpful. And if you would like me to send the recording or a link to the recording out to the people who couldn't make it, I'm happy to do that. It's up to you, Kim, because this is your material. So you let me know.
Okay. Well, I'm going to stop the recording now. And
if you want to send me